Hey y'all, so I'm out here in this car because it's the only place I can get any sort of peace. Like inside and the apartment is crazy because we're all on quarantine. That means we're all in there together, and those three kids don't let me do nothing in peace. But I wanted to talk about food allergies in particular during the quarantine. Um, how many of you guys are struggling with this, or is this just something that I'm dealing with all of a sudden? Like, is the food allergy struggle got a lot harder for us for some reason? Please excuse the noise in the background. It's like birds singing and everything. It's like a beautiful spring day out here. But anyways, just to put things in perspective, my toddler has food allergies. He has 6 of the top 8. My husband has food allergies. He's allergic to soy, some nuts, as well as bananas, plantains, and some other things. And my 15-year-old has some type of digestive thing going on where we're still getting some tests done, and we're thinking it might be gluten. And that's been going on for years, but recently it started getting a lot worse. So he's like been losing weight and stuff. So we're trying to figure out what's going on. But the testing has been postponed because of the coronavirus. So I'm dealing with all that. Plus, I got a 7-month old who just started eating solids, and I'm worried like all the time if he's gonna have some type of reaction or something because of the other guys in the family just reacting to everything. And and they also have like my husband also can't deal with whatever is on the rice. So I wash my rice anyways, but there cannot be an instance where I don't wash the rice. I have to wash it like clean because he can't tolerate it. I don't know, like he has a thing going on in his throat. I can't describe it because it happens to him and not me. But with the quarantine itself, it's been a bit difficult because normally we shop quite often because of the allergies we have and because of the diet we follow. Like my family, most of us follow a plant-based diet. I'm mostly plant-based. Like now and then I might eat some seafood, but most of the time I just eat plants. My two younger kids eat all plants. I introduced fish to my toddler when he's like 1.5, and he had an allergic reaction, so he doesn't have any fish anymore. So he doesn't do that. And the 7-month old has not had any meat at all. So the transition, it wasn't really like a matter of a transition for them. It was just like I just don't give it to them, and they're fine without it. My husband, he ate meat when I met him, and now he eats a lot less, maybe 3 times a week or something. My 15-year-old eats like me when he's at home, and when he's at school or outside the home, he eats the way he wants. So it's not like everybody's on like a strict thing in the house. It's just hard to work around what everybody is on. It's like for me, I could pretty much eat all the food that I prepare is fine for me. And I didn't know that my husband was allergic to soy until I started making cooking for him a lot more tofu and stuff like that. And like his eczema got so bad, and his skin was like cracking, and he was having a lot more breathing issues and stuff like that. And I was like, well, maybe you should go get tested for some allergies. He came back, he's got like 30 allergies. So yeah, that's been getting better since we've been avoiding. On top of environmental allergies that he has, and my toddler also has environmental allergies. So this whole mask wearing thing is not new to us. We've been wearing masks like every spring and summer anyways. So but anyway, we normally shop pretty often, but we're not able to do that because you need to cook, you need to get enough food for what you have at, to be able to stay home as much as possible. We don't have a deep freezer, so we can't like buy a bunch of frozen produce or stuff like that. We have to be very careful about box meals because they have everything on in them, soy. My toddler can't have any type of seafood, shellfish, fish, any of that stuff. Dairy products. It's just so much in everything that, so I pretty much have to cook everything from scratch, and it gets a bit hard and it's a bit daunting. I don't always feel like cooking, especially since my 15-year-old has been home from school. I mean, I just feel like I'm cooking all day long. Plus, my husband still has to work. So I'm like, and he works 12 to 13-hour shifts. So I'm cooking, trying to make sure he has enough food to take with him to work and it's safe food for him. And so far during this quarantine, we've had about 3 reactions. And that's why I have to add chicken to the list of allergies, possible allergies, because we had limited food one day. We hadn't been grocery shopping, and we had 2 chicken legs in the freezer, and we had some rice. So I was like, I gotta make do. I'm gonna cook. I'm gonna boil the chicken legs because my husband had the chicken legs. So I'm gonna boil the chicken legs. I'm gonna put the rice in the pot with the chicken legs, and my husband and my eldest can eat the chicken legs with the rice, and then I'll just eat the rice and have my toddler eat some rice, And everything in me kept saying, you don't want to do that. Just don't do it. And I was like, well, I need to cook something. We need to eat, we need to eat something. So I give him the rice with the soup in there, and he's 3 bites in and he starts yelling about his mouth is hurting. His mouth is hurting, his mouth is hurting. It hurts. And I had to give him Benadryl right away. So it was like really fast, and I just wanted to just hurry up and give him some type of medicine because I didn't want to epi him, because Easter he had another reaction. His grandparents had sent a box of candy stuffed eggs, and they know his allergies, so I assumed that the candy would be safe. I looked in there and it looked like a familiar candy to me, so I thought it would be safe. I let him hunt the eggs around the apartment, and I let him eat the candy that was inside. I was in the kitchen preparing lunch, and he comes screaming in the kitchen, pulling at his tongue, screaming his tongue is hurting, and then all of a sudden he's just like vomiting all over the place, like just vomiting over and over and over and over. And I didn't know whether to epi him, because I know if I epi him, he has to go to the hospital. I didn't want to go to the hospital. It's like, what do you do? Like, do you go to the hospital where there might be more sick people, or do you give him Benadryl? Do you give him the Zyrtec, the prescription medication? What do you do in those situations? And my husband's like, just wait. Let's just wait and let's give him a Benadryl. See if he stops vomiting. Give him a Benadryl. So I gave him a Benadryl, and he started looking okay, but then he was like real lethargic and everything. And I had never seen a reaction like that in him. Normally when he has a reaction, he goes anaphylactic. He can't breathe. So, and I would epi him right away. And so I don't know what he reacted to in the candy because I didn't have the box. I couldn't read it. Everything we had given him for Easter, I read it, so I knew what was in it. But the stuff that was in the eggs, I have no idea what was in it, and that was dumb on my part to give him that. And it's just like being little mild things, like he'll wake up one day and he'll just have a rash. Like it'll be all over his mouth and his neck and stuff like that. And I'm like, what, And it's just been really hard. It's been frustrating, so we're still having to go out to the grocery store. We have to get a lot of fresh and we get a lot of canned produce, but we still have to have a lot of fresh stuff too, fresh and frozen. It's basically what we do, and a lot of rice and like grains and pastas and stuff like that, because he's also a picky eater. So I give him things daily to try different things over and over and over. But I think he's at a point now to where he's afraid of eating a lot of things because he doesn't want to be sick anymore. So it's like the other day he had something. He had just some potatoes, some cut up potatoes that were cooked in the air fryer, and he choked on one, and he got frantic just because he choked a little bit, but he thought I know that's what he was thinking, that he was going to start throwing up and he was going to be sick and he was going to sleep the rest of the day, because that's what he did Easter. He slept all day Easter. And when I contacted the allergist, she said that we should have EpiPen that day. And I'm thankful that nothing else happened, that he got okay. And we pumped him up full of Gatorade because we stocked up on that. That's one thing. When this started and they were like, we're gonna go in quarantine, I went to the store. I stocked up on Gatorade, Powerade, Benadryl. I got his prescriptions, his EpiPen, and his prescription allergy medication. My husband got his prescriptions. We all got prescriptions filled, as you know, and all the allergy stuff that would be needed. And I made everybody dust masks and everything like that for the season, because like it's so bad to, like, we can't open the windows. We don't really get to go we don't get to go outside. And so our outings were just like when we would go out to the store and stuff like that. And now the kids can't go out at all because we don't take them into the store or anything like that. So only one of us will go if we have to. And I try to order some food online and have it delivered or do a pickup thing just to stay out of the stores. But then, you know, like that way they kind of give you what they want you to have. So I'll get potatoes and then they'll be sprouting already, or like have eyes that are about to start sprouting, they'll be soft. Or like the bell pepper will have like spots on it, or because you can't pick it out yourself. So they're just giving you what they need to get rid of pretty much, which sucks. But so yeah, it's been like a real struggle because we have a whole balcony and the pollen was just so bad because my toddler cannot breathe when the pollen is bad. Even if we put on a mask on to go to the park, we would put his mask on and give him a prescription medication before we even go outside. If the pollen's bad and we need to go somewhere, we don't let him walk to the car because the car will be covered in pollen. We pick him up, clean his door off, and put him inside of the car, because we can't let him climb up in the car because he'll have pollen on him and then he'll have a reaction. So it's like, it just feels so extra sometimes, and sometimes I feel like I wish we were normal. It's like dealing with allergies in general is bad, but it's felt extra since the quarantine started, because it's like we already can't do anything, but it's like now we really can't do anything because we can't even sit with the window open and catch like any breeze that's coming in outside unless it's raining. If it rained that day, I can open our sliding glass door. But if it's just like a regular beautiful day like today, no. Our doors, our windows, and everything are closed up. He can't handle it, and my husband can't handle it either. So, and I love being outside. And I feel like the baby is missing out on so much, because when my eldest was a baby, I took him outside all the time. We were always in the grass and stuff like that. And when the toddler was a baby, we were at the park all the time until he started reacting. And then the allergist was like, well, he can't be reacting because he hasn't been exposed to this. And I'm like, no, we were out almost every day. We were outside. I took him walking all the time. So now I'll take him walking on certain days, but he masks up and I put him in the stroller, and we avoid trees, areas with a lot of trees. We mostly walk around parking lots and stuff like that, just so they can get out of the apartment. It's just, everybody's just stuck inside and they just need to run. But I don't know. I can't be the only one struggling with this, not having because people are like, you can prep meal prep and blah 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 blah. No, if you don't have a deep freezer and you don't have like a giant kitchen or a big pantry, we do not have a pantry. We've been putting we did put a shelf inside of our storage closet to like put canned food and stuff on, and we've been storing canned food, like baby food and stuff, like underneath a little desk table in our dining room, just so we can have like extra stuff, like non-perishables. So we can't have in the house things like, like how they tell you to prepare for a hurricane. Like when I was little and I lived on the coast, we prepared for hurricanes. My parents would always get like things like Vienna sausages and sardines and potted meat, crackers, blah blah. We don't get any of that stuff. We don't get any of that stuff. Even with crackers, we have to read all containers. We can't try anything new during this quarantine. So if the store runs out of something but they have something that's equivalent to it, we can't get it. We can't, if we've never had that brand, we can't risk trying a new brand right now, because if he reacts, we'll have to go to the hospital, and then we'll have to try to get a new EpiPen, and it's like months. Sometimes you have to wait 3 months. The last time we got a pen, we had to wait 3 months before we could get a new EpiPen, and that was extremely nerve-wracking. And during this time, it's just not, we just cannot risk it. I'm not going for it. And he's already like reacting like crazy just during, like 3 times he's reacted, and it's only been a month and a half, and this is the most he's reacted. I know what the other time was. He coconut milk. He's allergic to peanuts and tree nuts. But the allergist said that we wouldn't have to worry about coconuts, because I asked, and she said it's not a nut. So, okay, it's a drupe or something like that. Don't get me started on coconuts. But I made him a snack. We had some coconut milk and some chia seeds, and she's had chia seeds lots of times before in his oatmeal to help add protein and fat and stuff like that. So I added chia seeds and added to the coconut milk, and he ate it up. And before bed as a snack, woke up in the middle of the night vomiting everywhere, all over the place. Like, it was horrible. It was a horrible situation. So I'm like, no, we can't do anything new. But let me know, comment below if you're having the same type of issues that I'm having, because I could say we're in this together, but we're not, because you're far away and we gotta stay away from each other. But I'll be so glad when all this is over. I hope all you guys stay safe. I've been praying for my husband all the time. He works in the prison system, and they are getting sick up in there. The virus is at the prison he works at, so every day he goes through this routine when he gets home of taking all his clothes off at the door, bagging everything up, putting it in specific spots where the kids can't get it, spraying everything down, using hand sanitizer before he goes into a different part of the house, and then going straight to the bathroom to shower. And that's his routine every single day. Like, he does that. And thank God so far it's been working, and he's staying away as much as he can from other people, social distancing and stuff like that, and not telling him to wear a mask when he goes to see his mama, because he, if we get sick, I don't want her to get sick. I don't want him to not have symptoms and then be carrying it and take it over to somebody else, to his mama's house, because he has to go to his mama to help her sometimes, because she's there alone by herself, and she's older, so he does a lot of her shopping and stuff like that. So he has to go help his mama, So everybody just do your best to stay safe, stay away from people, try not to react, get your EpiPens and your Benadryl and your Zyrtec and your Allegra and everything else, and your face mask and your gloves. Wipe down your surfaces. Stay safe. All right, bye.